History whispers of secret plots and daring schemes. These are the stories that have been passed down through generations, often shrouded in mystery and intrigue. They captivate our minds and transport us to times long past, where the stakes were high and the outcomes uncertain. These tales ignite our imagination, painting vivid pictures of clandestine meetings and shadowy figures. They remind us of the lengths to which people will go to achieve their goals, often risking everything in the process. They transport us to a world of intrigue, where every corner holds a secret and every shadow conceals a potential threat. It's a world where trust is scarce and betrayal is always a possibility. One such story, steeped in mystery and rebellion, is the Gunpowder Plot of 1605. This was a time of great tension and unrest in England, a period marked by religious conflict and political strife. Imagine a time of religious tension in England. The country was divided, with Protestants and Catholics at odds. The Protestant King James I ruled the land, and his policies were often harsh towards Catholics. King James I, a Protestant, ruled the land. His reign was marked by efforts to strengthen Protestantism, often at the expense of Catholic rights and freedoms. Catholics faced persecution and longed for a change in power. They were marginalized and oppressed, their practices restricted, and their leaders often targeted. This is where our story begins, with a group of men driven to desperate measures. They were determined to overthrow the king and restore Catholic dominance in England. They sought to overthrow the king and restore Catholic dominance. Their audacious plan? To blow up the Houses of Parliament during a session, ensuring the death of the king and many of his key supporters. To blow up the Houses of Parliament, this was no small feat. It required meticulous planning and unwavering resolve. This was a time when the king addressed Parliament. The session was a grand event, attended by the most powerful and influential figures in the land. And lords and nobles would be present too. The plotters saw this as their opportunity to strike a decisive blow against their oppressors. It was a chance to strike at the very heart of English power. The plan was bold, dangerous, and, if successful, would change the course of history forever. At the heart of this conspiracy lay a burning resentment. Catholics, marginalized and persecuted, felt the sting of injustice. They yearned for a return to a time when their faith held sway. Among them emerged a charismatic figure, Robert Catesby. Driven by fervent belief, he became the mastermind behind the plot. Catesby was not alone. He gathered a band of equally disillusioned men. Guy Fawkes, a skilled soldier, joined the ranks. His expertise with explosives would prove crucial. Together, they plotted in secret, fueled by a potent mix of religious zeal and a thirst for revenge. Their goal, to create chaos and seize control. The plan was as daring as it was dangerous. A group of 13 English Catholics, led by Robert Catesby, sought to end the Protestant rule of King James I. They were driven by a deep sense of injustice and a fervent desire to restore Catholicism to England. The conspirators knew that their mission was fraught with peril, but they believed the potential reward was worth the risk. The conspirators rented a cellar beneath the House of Lords, directly below the Parliament chambers. This strategic location was chosen with meticulous care, as it provided the perfect vantage point to carry out their explosive plan. The cellar was dark and damp, an ideal hiding place for their deadly cargo. Their weapon of choice, 36 barrels of gunpowder, carefully concealed beneath firewood and coal. The sheer amount of gunpowder was enough to obliterate the entire building, ensuring that no one inside would survive. The conspirators worked under the cover of night, moving the barrels into place with painstaking precision. The date they chose was November 5th, 1605, the day of the state opening of Parliament. This was a significant event, attended by the king, his ministers, and many members of the nobility. The conspirators believed that this would be the perfect opportunity to strike, as the explosion would decimate the entire leadership of the country in one fell swoop. As the day approached, tension crackled in the air. The conspirators were on edge, knowing that any misstep could lead to their discovery and execution. They communicated in hushed whispers, constantly looking over their shoulders, aware that the stakes had never been higher. The conspirators meticulously put the final touches on their plan. They double-checked the placement of the barrels, ensured that the fuses were properly set, and made sure that every detail was accounted for. Each man knew his role and was prepared to act without hesitation. They believed that by destroying the king and his government, they could spark an uprising and restore Catholic rule. The conspirators were driven by a sense of destiny, convinced that their actions would change the course of history. They saw themselves as martyrs for their faith, willing to sacrifice everything for their cause. Little did they know their plot was about to unravel in the most dramatic of ways. A letter of warning had been sent to a Catholic nobleman, which eventually reached the king's advisors. The authorities acted swiftly, and on the night of November 4th, Guy Fawkes was discovered guarding the explosives. The plot was foiled, and the conspirators were arrested, bringing their grand scheme to a sudden and ignominious end. As fate, it seemed, had other plans. Just days before the planned attack, a letter reached Lord Monteagle, a Catholic sympathetic to the conspirators. The letter warned him to stay away from Parliament on November 5th, hinting at a terrible event. Uncertain but alarmed, Monteagle alerted the authorities. The discovery of the gunpowder under the Houses of Parliament sent shockwaves through England. The plot had been foiled, but the sense of danger was palpable. Guy Fawkes, found guarding the explosives, was arrested. His capture sparked a frantic hunt for the remaining conspirators. England held its breath, the echoes of the near miss reverberating throughout the land. Section 5, Justice Served, the fate of the conspirators. News of the foiled plot spread like wildfire. Fear and outrage gripped the nation. The conspirators, now on the run, faced a desperate fight for survival. Catesby, in a last stand at Holbeher House, was killed. Others were captured, tried, and met a gruesome end. The punishment for treason was brutal. The captured conspirators were hanged, drawn, and quartered. Their gruesome executions served as a stark warning to any who dared challenge the crown. The Gunpowder Plot had failed, but its impact on England was far from over. Section 6. The plot's long shadow shaping a nation. The Gunpowder Plot sent shockwaves through English society. It deepened the divide between Protestants and Catholics. The government, shaken to its core, enacted stricter laws against Catholics. The dream of religious tolerance seemed to fade further into the distance, but the plot's legacy went beyond religion. It raised questions about the limits of loyalty and the nature of rebellion. It forced people to confront the fragility of power. The events of 1605 left an indelible mark on the English psyche, shaping the nation's course for years to come. Section 7, a legacy forged in fire, remembering the plot. The Gunpowder Plot, though a failure, resonated deeply within the English consciousness. It became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of extremism. Every year, the anniversary of the plot, November 5th, is marked by celebrations and solemn remembrance. In churches and homes, the foiled plot is recalled. Sermons are delivered, reminding congregations of the importance of peace and understanding. The Gunpowder Plot, though steeped in darkness, serves as a powerful reminder of the values that hold society together. Section 8, a Guy Fawkes Night, a bonfire of tradition. Over the centuries, the anniversary of the Gunpowder Plot evolved into a unique tradition, Guy Fawkes Night. What began as a somber commemoration transformed into a night of bonfires, fireworks, and revelry. Effigies of Guy Fawkes, the plot's most recognizable figure, are burned on bonfires. Children, their faces lit by the flickering flames, parade through the streets with guys made from old clothes and stuffed with straw. The air crackles with excitement as fireworks paint the night sky. Guy Fawkes Night, though rooted in a dark past, has become a beloved tradition, a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. Section 9, Echoes of the Past. The Gunpowder Plot's enduring significance. The Gunpowder Plot may seem like a distant echo from the past, a dramatic episode confined to the annals of history. But its themes of religious tension, political intrigue, and the allure of rebellion still resonate today. The plot was a desperate attempt by a group of English Catholics to overthrow the Protestant government and assassinate King James I. Their aim was to end the persecution of Catholics and restore a Catholic monarch to the throne. The story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of extremism and the importance of tolerance. It highlights how religious intolerance and political oppression can drive individuals to radical actions. The Gunpowder Plot is a cautionary tale about the lengths to which people will go when they feel marginalized and oppressed. As we navigate a world grappling with similar challenges, the lessons of the Gunpowder Plot are as relevant as ever. In today's global society, we continue to face issues of religious extremism, political corruption, and social injustice. The plot's failure underscores the futility of violence and the need for dialogue and understanding. It compels us to ask ourselves, how do we balance security with freedom? In an age where security measures are increasingly stringent, we must consider the impact on civil liberties. The Gunpowder Plot reminds us that excessive control can lead to resistance and rebellion. How do we address grievances peacefully? The plot failed because it resorted to violence rather than seeking peaceful solutions. It teaches us the importance of addressing grievances through dialogue, negotiation, and compromise. And how do we prevent history from repeating itself? By studying events like the Gunpowder Plot, we can learn from the past and strive to create a more just and tolerant society. Education and awareness are key to preventing the mistakes of history from recurring. The Gunpowder Plot, a tale of ambition, betrayal, and ultimately failure, continues to captivate and challenge us centuries later. Its enduring significance lies in its ability to teach us about the complexities of human nature and the consequences of our actions. As we reflect on this historical event, we are reminded of the importance of striving for a world where justice, tolerance, and peace prevail.